we all talked about communication, and I'm going to ask like Vante, and then we're going to get everyone's opinion. Everyone says communication is important, but we have to ask ourselves, what does that look like when everyone communicates differently? Nobody communicates the same.
True.
So again, Vante, what does communication look like to you?
Communication to me looks like recognition. So when we're talking or expressing our feelings, it's good to voice whatever's on our heart, but also in the same breath, I think while we're communicating, I think we also should recognize if your spouse is maybe is putting 70% of the relationship that week, or you know what, she did put a little bit of effort this week when we were cleaning up the house, or so I think I should try a little harder. And you know what, I apologize for the way I was acting. You deserve a little bit more respect. That's what communication looks like to me. And I think when you do things like that, and she well, I have to talk personally. She feels seen, and also it helps me out. She respects me a little bit more, and then she goes in. You know what? You're right. Maybe I overreacted. We'll figure this out.
Yeah. I don't think a woman is going to bring peace if you don't do exactly what you do with your wife, and then she's like, he sees me. And then she relaxes, and then she's so willing to give you what you need, and around it goes, rather than you not seeing her or hearing her. And then is she going to give you what you need? No, she's going to be pissed.
Yeah. And before, one last thing I want to say about communication for my part is communication is not always with your spouse. Communication is also with yourself. And I think that doesn't get talked about enough. And what I mean by that is, for me, I'm an artist, so I get inspired by the most littlest things. There was a show on Netflix, for example, called, I think it was called Love, just called Love. And it was about these two in a relationship, and the girl was smoking hot, and the guy was more so nerd looking. And it was a TV series. But you know what? The guy worked hard to be the man, I would say the man she wanted. But in the same case, she worked hard to be the woman he wanted. And he always questions himself, like, why does she love me? What's so special around me? What's so special about me? When I'm around her, I could be myself. And I think when I saw that episode or the whole show, I said the same thing about myself. Like, why did she come to New York? Like, just right off the bat for that. Why did she get married, or why did she choose to get married to me? After 6 months of knowing each other, what is it about me? So I always keep that in my mind when I'm doing things or doing something nice or out in public, especially knowing in this day and age, the girls wouldn't do half the things my wife did to make sure the relationship lasts. So I do whatever I can to make sure the relationship lasts, with communicating with her and always recognizing areas where I can improve on, based in, looking at mentors, looking at other relationships, or just looking at TV shows, like, oh, I could learn from that, so.
I like it.
Did you ask her to marry you after 6 months, did you say?
Oh yeah. So we've been married 10 years. We've known each other 10 years.
I like that. Krista, what does communication look like to you?
Well, it's very similar to what Vante is talking about. I think what I could add is, as well as, is how it's delivered. Some people might think communication like, yeah, I yelled it at her, like I told her, right? I think it comes back to, when you're communicating, if you can do it in a calm way, so that it's received by the other person. And the other thing is don't wait too long to say what you have to say, because then that say, like, you know, as it's happening, not like in the moment, just say, hey, like, I had a moment to think about it, you know, I didn't like this, or this is what I like. You don't want to wait too long, because what can happen is you can, you know, get frustrated with the other person, or angry or resentful, instead of expressing as it comes and dealing with it as each event occurs, right? So and as well, you know, sorry.
No.
I'm saying a lot of sorry. Yeah, so it's just more the delivery. The delivery of it is really important, and as well, what Vante was saying is, like, you know, using other examples, like if you see other people delivering and say, hey, they did it like this, okay, let me try it like that, maybe that person will be more responsive. Like, don't just stick to one way, find different ways, apply different ways until you find something that might work for them to respond back to you, right? There's no magic pill, because every person is unique. So to personalize it for the person that you're with. And by doing that, you're showing that you love them, because you're willing to put energy and time for them, because you're willing to do that specifically for them.
I like that. Jillian, what does communication look like to you?
I like the saying, you catch more flies with honey. And I think just dealing with human beings, you know, from a human perspective, that we all have feelings. And when you have something, you know, women tend to, I think as we get older, we learn to be more direct, and we realize that, especially dealing with men, we just need to say something directly. But of course, we are taught to be sugar and spice and everything that's nice when we're growing up, right? And so we're not taught to be confrontational in any way. So much so that we don't even know how to bring something up with somebody, you know, especially dealing with women. We'll sidestep things to the point where you're just not even a friend with a woman anymore. You don't ever directly say anything. So, but with men, I think you do have to be direct and just say it, but just do it with honey, and just be nice, just be sweet about it. Let the person know that you really care about them, that you're not blaming them for anything, but that you do have to honor yourself. You're not a doormat. You don't swipe these things under the rug. People don't respect you if you don't address issues. It doesn't mean that there's always a problem. I mean, if there's always a problem, that's a problem. But if there is an issue, don't sweep it under the rug. Honor yourself, you know, be sweet about it. Let the person know what it is, so that at least they can have a chance to solve it, and you can have a chance to evolve your relationship.
I love it. And I feel like right now I'm going to be the bad guy. Like, I feel like I'm going to be like the wild Joker card right here. I believe in communication, but all your answers were great, but I believe in it to a small misconception. And I'm going to say why. You guys all talked about being able to talk to your partner, being able to express to them, which are all great points. But one thing that I've learned recently, and I think this is probably going to help me in my next relationship, is when you express yourself to them, are they even in the space to even receive your emotions right now? They might have had a rough day. They might have other stuff going on that just hasn't been discussed yet. So when you come and let's say you say, well, I have these issues with you, I have this, they might not even be in the space to even receive your emotions. So that can also be a problem within itself. So I think a lot of times when you are going to communicate, you have to ask the question, are you in the space right now for me to discuss something with you?
Yeah. I used to make the mistake when I was married that I would always bombard my husband with things as soon as he walked in the door. And of course, he always pushed back. And I used to think he was such an asshole. And of course, that was just a lack of maybe giving him a half an hour to at least decompress, the poor guy, before I bombarded him with things, you know. So, you know, that's just one little tip, you know, to what you're saying. No who you're dealing with and when are the right times to bring them up. So I was definitely missing the mark on that.
Yeah, that helped me understand that, because imagine if both people are working, right? And then you come home, one person's had an awesome day and then the other person's had like a bad day, and you're just like da 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 da, and like you're pretty much invading their space without even asking, without even saying like, hey, like I have some things on my mind, either about work or like enhancing the performance of the relationship, date nights, whatever, to say, are you in a space to even receive this right now? Because you might give it to them and it literally goes over their head. Then a couple days later, you get mad and say, well, hey, I told you this a couple days ago, and you literally just kind of like went past your head. So I think they need to be in a space to receive it, because then whatever you tell them can be applied within that moment, either enhancing the relationship or just even them being your rock, because they might not even be in the space to be your rock in that moment. And some people get mad at that. So I don't know if there's anything that you guys want to add to that before we move on to a new topic.
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
You say you're gonna be the bad guy. I'm gonna be the bad guy to that bad guy. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, all of that is kind of BS, just a little bit. Because let me break it down. Like how, let's just lay it down. Like role play it real quick. So, I had a bad day. I come home, and if we're talking about communication and growing in a seasoned relationship, I think, as far as communication goes, you're going to say, hey, how was your day? Oh, okay. Well, when you get a minute, I would like to talk to you about something. It doesn't have to be now, but when you get a minute.
Okay.
It's nothing like it takes 2 seconds, and I would love that. Oh, you're not bothered. Okay, thanks for letting me know. And I'll come home, go into my office, write my music if I have to, roll up if I have to. And if she has to remind me again, I'll even feel more bad. Oh, she wanted to talk. Okay, I got you. But most of the cases, I'm in my head. Okay, what does she want to talk about? So usually I'll just come like, hey, what's up? And if I say my day was bad, how was your day? My day was actually upset. I would expect for my spouse to break down my day, and then okay, I'm glad you talked about your day today, but relationship is 24 hours. I'm sorry. You're always going to have work problems. You're always going to have money issues. You're always going to have, and talk to me about it right away. Don't wait a day. Don't wait 2 weeks. Because if we can knock it out right the park, and it don't have to happen, whatever we discuss right now, we can make a plan where it don't happen again. For us, you wait a week, 3 days to tell me, it's just going to snowball, and pressure's going to turn into passive aggressive, and next thing you know, the issue's a lot bigger than what we don't even know what it's about. So,
and I will add something. When I mean asking somebody, like, are they in a space, doesn't mean a week. 100%. I agree with you. If it waits like a week, then no. But giving them a chance to kind of like regress for work or like what's ever been on their mind gives them a chance to receive whatever it is you tell them. And I love the fact that you said a relationship is 24/7. And people don't realize that. Like, it's cluelessness, but I'm sure that the ladies want to chime in. So, Christelle or Jillian, either one of you can go first.
I'm good on that topic.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're in an you've been in a relationship for a really long time, then you kind of know where that person's at pretty quickly. Let's say if they had a rough day, you're like, how was your day? You'll know right away. So you can pick you pick your time. You say, hey, I know this is, they're having a rough day. They're having a really rough moment right now. Probably this is not the best time to talk to them. So I'll wait till they're a little cooled off a little bit. And when I can see or I can sense that they're more receptive, and say, hey, just like Vante was saying, hey, when you have a chance, there's something I want to talk to you whenever you're ready. There's no rush, but when you have a moment, just let me know.
I like that.
I think Vante has the right approach.
Yeah.
I I know I've been
Expecting the other
I was
person.
the bad guy.
Bad guy. I'm just not going to get the results you're looking for. That's
Yeah,
all.
I'm just not gonna get the.
I know my wife, if I'm at work and something happened, like maybe I spent something on the debit card without, without like, oh, she's gonna message me at that moment before I even come home. So by the time I do come home, it's like the conclusion of what we talked about in text, but it's not as blown up as when I come home.
I like that. So it's like instant. It's like we're gonna deal with this. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, because you have to. Part of it, you have to, because they're always going to come up. It's constant.
that's a good way to put
It's
it.
constant. So the more you can sort them, deal with them, the less you have a pile waiting for you, and that's usually what breaks down the relationship. If you kind of try to always put it aside.
And I think like you said too, how you handle it and how you speak to somebody, because that can take a relationship down real quick if it gets into more of like if you're communicating angry, and then now every time a problem communicates, you like set the bar that we can come at each other with anger, and I just don't see, maybe there's a place for it, I don't know, but I just think once you like go there, if somebody does communicate like in an angry way or in an abusive way, if that's not addressed in the moment, then it's like set the bar that that's how we're going to deal with things from that point forward. Not to say that that can't be changed around, but yeah, I would definitely say if anybody is communicating in an angry way, to check that situation immediately, because that's not the bar that you want to set for future discussions.
I agree.